Welcome to Day 1. If you're stepping into the role of a safety officer, consider this explainer your ultimate Day 1 survival guide to health, safety, and environment management. I'm going to walk you through the real-world realities of the floor, the gear you'll carry, and honestly, the mindset you need to cultivate. We're going to cover the essential field skills that transform you from a rookie with a fancy title into a leader who actually protects their crew.
All right, let's get right to it. You can have the most expensive, cutting-edge gear in the world, but as this old saying reminds us, a clipboard doesn't save lives, the person holding it does. While tools are absolutely critical for mitigating risks and ensuring compliance, the human element, your judgment, your vigilance, your commitment, that's the true lifesaver here. You are literally the central processor of your organization's entire safety culture.
You know, what's really fascinating about our field is how much it's evolved. Our gear isn't just hard hats, safety goggles, and high-vis vests anymore. Today's safety officer relies on a massive, comprehensive system designed to enhance the whole organizational safety culture. We're talking software for hazard identification, digital training platforms for the crew, and robust data analytics tools that make audits a breeze. It's really become a highly integrated ecosystem.
Section 1. Your core safety toolkit. Let's look at your essential physical tools.
So before you even step foot in the facility for our first major lesson on the floor, I want you to really ask yourself, what's the invisible threat out there? As a new recruit, it's pretty easy to spot the spinning blades, the moving forklifts, or those precarious heights, but you've got to focus on the hazards that you can't even see. Specifically, we really need to talk about the cumulative, silent damage caused by industrial noise.
And that brings us to the very first tool you're going to pull out of your kit, the sound level meter. This little instrument quantifies sound levels in decibels to pinpoint areas where there's a real risk for hearing loss. But hey, it's not just about hearing. Prolonged exposure to crazy noise levels leads to a whole cascade of health issues, stuff like severe stress, skyrocketing blood pressure, and a huge drop in work efficiency. This device is how you prove there's a problem way before someone actually gets hurt.
Now, the absolute crucial metric to burn into your brain is 90 decibels. That is the mandated permissible noise exposure limit, set by OSHA over an 8-hour workday. As a safety officer, this is your baseline. If your sound level meter says a zone crosses that threshold, it's entirely on you to step in, whether that means implementing immediate noise control measures or strictly mandating specific hearing protection. No exceptions.
Okay, let me challenge you a bit further here. How do you catch a hazard you can't even see or hear? We just talked about noise, but what about the very air your team is breathing? In environments like chemical processing, heavy manufacturing, or a construction site, poor ventilation and atmospheric dangers can turn a perfectly safe site into a lethal one in a matter of minutes. For that, you're going to need an anemometer. Think of this device as your early warning system. It measures air velocity and quality, which is absolutely critical for figuring out if your ventilation is actually doing its job. Because if airflow stops or slows down, you aren't just dealing with hot, uncomfortable workers, you are dealing with a potentially toxic atmosphere.
When air quality tanks and airflow goes stagnant, you get rapid carbon dioxide buildup and a massive accumulation of harmful particulates. And what does that mean for your crew? Well, it means severe cognitive impairment, which leads to deadly mistakes around heavy machinery and long-term respiratory issues. This is exactly why taking regular measurements and initiating immediate corrective action based on your anemometer readings aren't just polite suggestions. They are absolutely mandatory.
Let's pivot for a second to another common reality of the job, your own physical limitations. Simply put, how do you inspect what you can't reach? You're going to constantly be dealing with high ceilings, insanely tight spaces, or the complex, highly dangerous interiors of heavy equipment. And listen to me, you cannot put yourself in harm's way just to check for a hazard.
This is exactly where the inspection camera becomes your best friend. These cameras basically act as an extension of your own eyes. They're designed to snake into those hazardous, inaccessible areas so you can visually assess the situation without ever risking your own safety or the safety of your team. Whether you're spotting hidden electrical hazards or tracking down the source of a nasty chemical leak, this tool is literally indispensable.
But remember this, finding the hazard is only half the job. The visual records these cameras provide give you the concrete evidence you need for safety audits and benchmark assessments. You're going to use these recordings to prove compliance, to develop solid corrective action plans, and this is huge, to build incredibly effective, real-world training materials to educate your employees about the actual risks on their very own floor.
Section 2. Choosing your gear wisely.
Let's talk selection strategies.
Knowing what the tools do is great, sure, but the critical decision-making process required when outfitting a unique work site is what separates a total novice from a seasoned pro. So, here is my veteran mental checklist for selecting the right HSE tools. Step 1. Assess the specific safety risks prevalent in your industry. Step 2. Check your regulatory requirements. You need to know exactly what governing bodies like OSHA demand from you. And step 3, scale to your operation size. A small local business might just need a general package, while a massive industrial facility is going to require highly specialized, scalable equipment.
Listen, a one-size-fits-all approach to safety gear is a dangerous rookie mistake. Outfitting a construction site means you're heavily focused on machinery hazards and heavy equipment monitoring. But if you're assigned to a healthcare facility, your toolkit completely changes. Suddenly you're focused on infection control, spill management, and ergonomic assessments to safeguard the nurses and patients. Context is literally everything.
Section 3. Building a safety culture. Time for effective implementation.
Now that we've got the hardware covered, let me share a few war stories from the field that show how deploying these tools correctly can fundamentally change an organization. A few years back, I knew an organization really struggling with compliance. They decided to comprehensively deploy regular training, rigorous audits, and modern incident reporting software. And by making those tools a core part of their daily routine, the culture completely shifted. They achieved a massive 40% reduction in workplace incidents in just one single year. That, my friend, is the power of systemic safety.
Here's another incredible one, a huge manufacturing success story. A major plant was facing some really serious environmental compliance challenges. But instead of just waiting around for an audit to slap them with a penalty, they integrated advanced IoT sensors and data analytics to enable real-time emission monitoring. They proactively fixed their non-compliance issues before the auditors even showed up, saving millions in fines and, more importantly, protecting the local environment.
And over in the mining sector, which is an incredibly high-risk environment, a company empowered its workforce by deploying mobile safety applications. Instead of dealing with a convoluted, messy paper trail, workers could directly and instantly report unsafe conditions right from the palm of their hand. This streamlined communication led to total transparency, real accountability, and a massive drop in near-miss incidents.
But let me bring you right back to our core mentor mantra. These tools are only as good as the person using them. Proper safe handling, utilizing ergonomic practices so you don't end up injuring yourself, and providing rigorous, continuous staff training, that's what actually makes these tools effective. A fancy piece of software or a high-end decibel meter does absolutely nothing sitting on a shelf. It requires a trained, dedicated professional to drive it.
Section 4. The future of our trade. Evolving safety tech.
As we near the end of your Day 1 orientation here, we need to look at the road ahead. Technology is rapidly evolving the safety officer's role, and you need to be ready for what's coming next. The future of safety management is deeply digitized and highly proactive. We're already seeing the integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning to actually predict hazards before they happen. Soon, you'll be using real-time data analytics and cloud-based communication platforms to coordinate your teams globally. But most importantly, this rapid evolution means you have a continuous, lifelong learning requirement. You can literally never stop studying.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought for your first day. Will you just carry the tools, or will you commit to mastering them to lead the future of safety? Your crew is counting on you to be the expert, the advocate, and their shield. Embrace the education, take active ownership of this incredible role, and let's get to work keeping people safe.